Hi, Niels Mahoney here from On Air Coach. I am thrilled today to be speaking to, I don't want to start fawning over this man too soon because you
No
don't want to,
fawning, no fawning.
no fawning. You don't want to run out of the gate and run out of speed. But this is Jim Meskimen, who's one of the great impressionists, in my opinion. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Nails. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. And it's really nice to speak to you because, again, fawn. You are one of my favorite impressionists, right? But I know you're way more than that.
Oh, that's very kind.
And I'm
Yeah,
loving.
we're in a no fawning quarantine right now. So.
That's right. That's right. I'm loving the hat and the whole thing going on. Listen,
Thanks.
Jim, I have first of all ask you, and I'm asking everybody this at the moment, with this whole weirdness that's going on. Has it affected you in any way in how you go about your life? How about your work, for example? Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course, it's just a complete disaster. But I'm lucky in that I have a studio at home and I can still provide quite a lot of service from here.
Yeah.
There aren't nearly as many projects going on, and I had to postpone an awful lot of on-camera work because there are no film crews out, there are no makeup people touching people. There's so it's a hit for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm not down for the count. I'm able to work, and I record audio books and commercials, and I can do that all from here. So thank goodness I have that.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, most people have one talent, right? I mean, geez, some of us only have half a talent. But one of us, if we have one whole talent, we're doing quite well. You do.
One entire talent.
One
I
whole
keep a box under my bed. Yeah.
That's right. I'll take it out in emergencies if ever it's required. Haven't used it yet.
Honey, where's that talent I have?
Yeah, I knew I had my talent here somewhere. You do a lot of different things. I know it's all voice related. You do the impressions, there's acting, there's the voiceovers. As you talk,
Right.
We speak with a lot of voiceover people. And
Yeah. Well, I do a lot of things. I write.
Yeah.
I've directed audio books. I'm an artist also. I draw and paint.
Yeah. Well,
I don't do that much professionally, but if everything goes out the window, I can always draw and paint.
One of the things I was drawn to that you do, that a lot of impressionists, if I can go on that angle for a minute, a lot of them don't do is you seem to analyze the human voice, and I'm a big fan of the human voice and what it can do and why it does what it does. When we're coaching presenters, we always say it's the words you choose and how you use them, and the last part of the sentence is the most important part. What is it about that you love or are fascinated by?
Well, yeah. I mean, I just have, like you, I have a strong affinity for that channel of communication, the voice, the auricular thing of how one puts something across. I like it. I like poetry. Both my parents were actors. My father had stopped being an actor by the time I came along, but my mother continued until just a few years ago.
For those that don't know, your mom was Mrs. Cunningham in Happy Days.
Right.
Yeah.
And had a long and 70-year career almost, and she was very sensitive to vocal qualities and did accents and things at home, And she in fact played Little Irish Maid on one of her first television jobs, was playing a Little Irish Maid for Sir Noel Coward.
Oh, well, I've heard of him. Yeah, I've heard of him. Rings a bell. Rings a bell.
Did a bit of work. And so, I guess through my friendship with my mother and being raised in her household, I got to be very interested. It's my wife back there, just in the background. There's nails there.
Hey, Nails.
Top of the morning.
Top of the morning.
It's that Maltese accent.
That's what it is. It's coming out strong, isn't it? Thick and strong.
Tamara has an acting school. She's an actress also. She's got the best acting school in the world, the Acting Center in LA.
Nice. And I thought she was looking for that talent you said.
She'll find it somewhere. It's under the carpet. But I don't know. I'm just really interested in it. And so as I got old, as a little boy, I always wanted to have an accent or a grown-up voice or the ability to communicate any way I wanted to express any mood or idea that I had or make people laugh in any way. So I'm very lucky, as I'm sure a lot of people you've talked to feel very lucky to be able to work with the voice and work in that art form, because there are a lot of barriers.
But then you got the hard work that goes with it, right? It's great having the enthusiasm and the modicum of talent. But without that bloody practice and hard work, it's like, and then that luck as well that goes
Something
with
you
it.
just said. Yeah, look in the modicum, honey. I think it's in the modicum. You'll find that talent somewhere.
I don't know where that word came out of. Jeez, I almost have a vocabulary. Almost have a vocabulary there.
I think it came out of ancient Greece, actually.
Did it indeed?
I wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, yeah. Well, yeah, we're very lucky, and it's super fun, and I get to meet people all over the place, and I do things like right now I do Colonel Sanders' voice for a lot of the television advertising for the KFC brand, and
Awesome.
that's a great honor and great privilege.
Actually, when you're doing voices, the one that drew me first, and I'd never heard it done before properly, was your George Clooney, and that just blew me away.
Oh, George Clooney, yeah, who I can't always do in the morning, but seems like it's coming out okay now. I have to bob my head a lot.
That's exactly what
guy, by the way. I've met him a few times, and he's
Right.
very gracious and a funny guy. I'd love to work for him more.
It was always that it's the head bobbing and the smile that kind of says, "I'm okay no matter what happens.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
I'm okay. Don't worry.
It's that kind of. You do a lot of live stuff. Obviously, hopefully it comes back and we can do that again. Do you still love doing that? I mean, is that still a buzz?
Yeah. Oh my God, I love doing it more and more. I can't wait to have a live show. I've gotten to perform all over the world, and it's it's really super fun. I don't know. I love to. Sometimes you go to a foreign country, like I went down to Australia a few times, and I was like, I wonder if they're going to know these people. They know everybody.
Of course they do. Of course they do. And because I'm saying you do a lot of stuff. I mean, you act. I mean, we've seen you in Friends playing that role that time, and you do all. You do so many character voices for cartoons. Johnny Bravo. My kids grew up watching Johnny Bravo. You've been part of that. You've been part of all these different shows. And I think everybody's got this thing where they want another talent. I'd love to do impressions. That's why I'm always drawn to impressions. Can't do an impression to save my life. But it's like some people want to be footballers or whatever. Is there any other thing you want to do, or is this always been the thing for you?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I like doing impressions, but I'm not. Sometimes I'm not as passionate about it. I like to affect people positively, and so as you've seen, or hopefully we'll see with my YouTube material, I like to be encouraging. I like to be inspiring. I like to make people laugh. That's my real passion, is to try to elevate the mood of or the point of view of anybody who happens to stumble on my YouTube channel.
Well, that's the thing. You're very active on YouTube. The deep fake thing that you're doing right now. I mean, I see comments, right? You've done one recently where it's the wash your hands, and it's all the different characters coming in. You deep fake.
It's a parade of celebrities coming through. Yeah, it was a special effects thing. It was pretty cool.
And I watched that, and you're watching comments, reading comments is almost it's a guilty pleasure, isn't it? Because you want to see where before they start fighting each other, how they react to everything, and most of the reactions are, "Whoa, what's this? This is really strange." It is strange, though, isn't it?
Very strange. It's very strange technology. I don't pretend to understand it. There's a guy in the UK, Shamuk, who does it all for me. And
okay. I was wondering how you do that.
I don't actually crunch all that data and create that effect. I give him the raw thing, the raw video, and he puts the faces on it. We've collaborated on about 4 or 5 of these things now, and the first time he sent me a sample, he said, "Hey, I'm over here in Manchester, and I'd love to do this kind of treatment to you. And I've taken a few seconds of one of your videos and put somebody's face on it." And I was like, just gobsmacked by it. I couldn't believe it. Now I'm sort of used to it. It's like, oh yeah, we can do that. Sure.
I've just turned into De Niro. It's no problem. I actually look like him.
No big deal. Yeah,
no big deal. First guy I saw do that was Bill Hader. Somebody had deepfaked, doing a Pacino impression he did. And I didn't know it exists. I never heard of it. I didn't know what this was. And it's like, hang on a second, he's actually turned into him there. What's going on here?
Yeah. He's changed the bridge of his nose. He's put more weight in his jaw. How'd he do that?
It's really weird. So you've got your home set up there. What do you use? Is it like a whisper booth? Have you
yes, exactly, a whisper room.
Is it?
That's exactly the thing. I got it years ago from a company who hired me to do a series of audiobooks.
Yeah.
And I felt like, hey, this is something I think I could make some use out of. As it turns out, I really get a lot of use out of it. I'm in there all the time. And my daughter, Taylor Meskimen, who is now a narrator, also spends a lot of time in there. So she doesn't live here, but she lives in my booth quite often.
And I know
she was able to work yesterday. We got her all hooked up with a thing called Source Connect.
Yeah.
And she was able to do a job for a company. I think one person was in England, another person in a different part of LA. So luckily we have these digital solutions.
Yeah. I had to ask you about the America's Got Talent performances that you did. Well,
Yeah.
Was that weird? Because I was looking at that and I was thinking to myself, yeah, because you're given like 90 seconds to be this larger than life instant hit, as opposed to warming up the crowd and cajoling them and wooing them. And that looked really difficult.
It's almost as unnatural as this as a performing venue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You don't have it. You just, I mean, I physically ran on stage because I wanted to preserve as much of my time as possible. Not realizing that my mic was not on for the first 20 seconds. There was a technical error, which, you know.
Well, you handle that. You handle that all right. I wouldn't worry about that.
Yeah, but so it was weird. It was definitely weird. And the nicest thing about it was meeting all the performers. The other contestants were terrifically talented, much more talented than the show even would present them to be. The show had a very kind of narrow window of what talent they wanted you to do and how they wanted you to do it. They're constructing a show, you know, so they've got all the say. And you're like going, well, I could do this and this. And they're like, yeah, if you wouldn't mind just cleaving to this little, I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Everybody was like that. So people could do amazing stuff. So meeting them was really, really great. And being in front of, I forget, 6,000 people, I think, in Radio City Music Hall.
Wow. Yeah.
That's a big hall. And it was a thrill.
One of the things you said, and I remember you saying it was, one of the reasons you wanted to do it was because you wanted to show that you had more to give. And I was thinking to myself, it was on those lines, I'm paraphrasing you. I was thinking, man, this guy's done quite a lot. He's done all right. Do you think it's a creative person's thing? I've been doing what I do for 30 years. I don't even think I've started yet. You know, is that just something we have to live with?
It is, and it's just a lovely attitude, really. And thank you for your gracious words. But I think creative people are kind of like, well, we're on a path, and it would be like climbing a mountain or going on a long trek on a road. You're like, okay, well, I got here. This is great now, but look up here. There's more ahead.
There's always something more, isn't it? There's always something that you don't know, because I mean, we get up in the morning, we start creating stuff that didn't exist before, and it's like, how did that happen? Where did that come from?
Yeah, that happened. Yeah, and you look back a few years ago. I'm looking back at a lot of old artwork I did in New York when I was there. I worked professionally as an illustrator for a while. I designed characters for the Thundercats original series. And then I did a lot of work for the theater I was involved in. Every time, you know, I would do all the flyers and illustrations for the plays and advertising and stuff. And I'm just looking back at some of that stuff and going, boy, there was a mountain of stuff that we did. And it was super fun and really artistic. And now I'm in a completely different place. I do something completely different. I'm still creating art, but I'm doing it in the channel that's most immediate and useful. And it's great to be able to make these videos. I really enjoy creating YouTube content. In fact, I don't know if you've seen, I just put up a thing the other night. I did, it's called There Will Be COVID. Yeah. It's Daniel Day-Lewis's speech from There Will Be Blood.
The dark lighting, the whole thing.
Very dark lighting. And I tried to replicate that little scene, but to adjust it, to repurpose it for the COVID quarantine. And I was in that movie, and I saw him give that speech over and over again. And so for years, I've wanted to do something with it. And then it came about that I could figure out how to do it.
I love it. And the way you just drop it in. I was in that movie. Oh, sure. Yeah. Who wasn't? Who wasn't?
Who wasn't? A lot of people in the movie.
That's awesome. Jim, we're going to let you go. Thanks so much for sharing your breakfast time with us. Or if you haven't had it yet, go have your breakfast.
Haven't had it yet. I'm looking forward to it. It's over there by the modicum.
Yeah, that's where the talent's buried. You'll find it. Jim Meskimen in Los Angeles. Thanks so much, man.
Thanks, Dales. Thanks a lot.